The coat room wasn't supposed to be a hiding place. It was supposed to be a quiet corner of the charity gala, somewhere to grab a wrap, fix a heel, breathe for a second. But tonight it became the only place where Mia could fall apart without witnesses. She hadn't meant to cry. She fought it for almost an hour. But heartbreak has a way of finding cracks. Her back was pressed against the wall, between rows of expensive coats, faux fur, cashmere, velvet, and her fingers were tangled in the silky hem of her own dress as she tried to steady her breathing. She squeezed her eyes shut. Why did I come? Why did I let him see me? Why did I believe he'd treat me differently tonight? Her ex had walked into the gala with his new girlfriend on his arm, smiling as if he hadn't shattered her 3 months ago. And the moment she saw them laughing together, her chest caved in like someone had punched her. She slipped away before the tears could fall. But in the coat room, the tears finally won. She covered her mouth to keep the sobs silent, shaking, wishing she could disappear into the folds of the fabric around her. She didn't hear the footsteps at first. The door creaked open slow enough that she froze. Mia, her breath caught sharp, panicked. She knew that voice. Everyone in the city knew that voice. Lysander Quinn. Tech billionaire, gala sponsor, a man so magnetic people whispered about him before he even entered a room. And he had said her name like he'd been searching for her. She swiped at her tears quickly, turning her face away. I am fine, please don't. Lysander stepped inside. Then he closed the door behind them with a soft, decisive click. Not trapping her, not intimidating, protecting her, shielding her, creating a quiet space where the world couldn't see her breaking. His voice was gentle but firm. You're not fine. She shook her head, hiding her face with her hand. Please, I don't want anyone to see me like this. I'm not anyone, he murmured. Her breath trembled. That's exactly why. Lysander stepped closer, stopping just a few feet away, not touching her, not crowding her, but close enough that she could feel his presence settle the air around them. Look at me, Mia. She kept her gaze lowered. I can't. You can, he said softly. You just don't want me to see the pain. Her voice cracked. Yes. There was a moment quiet, suspended before she felt fingers brush gently against her chin. May I? He asked. She hesitated, then nodded. He guided her face up slowly, tenderly. And when her tear-streaked eyes met his, something inside her shivered. Lysander's gaze wasn't pitying, wasn't shocked, wasn't annoyed. It was warm, quiet, deep. He studied her like he was trying to understand every emotion she'd been forced to swallow. Mia, he whispered, voice low and steady. What happened? She shook her head. Again, you don't want to hear this. Lysander's thumb brushed a tear from her cheek carefully, reverently. If it made you cry, I want to hear it. Her breath trembled. My ex, he's here with someone new. Lysander's jaw tightened slightly. He hurt you. She nodded. And seeing him, she whispered, everything came back. He didn't say anything at first. He just looked at her with an intensity she wasn't prepared for. Mia, he murmured, do you know where he is right now? She frowned. What? Do you know where he is? I don't know. Somewhere in the ballroom? Lysander shook his head. He's standing at the top of the stairs, he said quietly, laughing, looking around the room. Her throat tightened painfully. Why are you telling me that? Lysander took a slow breath. Because, he said, stepping closer, he didn't look for you once. She froze. But I did. Her pulse thudded. He continued, voice softer now, warmer, dangerously gentle. I watched you leave the ballroom. Your shoulders were shaking. Your steps weren't steady. He swallowed. And every instinct I had told me to follow you. Her chest tightened, heat rising beneath her skin. You shouldn't have to fall apart alone, he added. She let out a shaky breath. No one's ever followed me before. He lifted her chin again, coaxing her to meet his eyes. Then tonight is your first. Her eyelashes fluttered. Lysander stepped close enough that she could feel the warmth radiating from him, the kind of warmth that made her want to lean in. Just a little, just enough. His voice dipped dangerously quiet. Tell me what you're scared to say out loud. Mia's throat thickened. Tears pricked again. That I wasn't enough, that I never will be. Lysander's expression changed, deepened. Mia, he whispered, look at me. She did. I need you to hear this, he said. You were never the problem. Her lips parted. Lysander. He shook his head slowly. I've seen you, even when you think no one notices. His gaze softened. You walk into rooms like you want to disappear, and yet somehow you light the entire place. Her breath caught. And him, Lysander added, he didn't just lose you, he lost the best part of his life. A tear rolled down her cheek. Lysander brushed it away gently, his touch warm and steady. Tell me what you need, he whispered. She exhaled. I don't know. I do, he murmured. He stepped closer, close enough for her heartbeat to stumble. You need someone who stays. Her chest constricted with something she hadn't felt in months. Hope. For a long moment, Mia couldn't speak. Lysander's presence, his warmth, his steadiness, wrapped around her so quietly, so fully. She forgot she was supposed to be embarrassed. She forgot her ex existed. She forgot the world outside the coat room entirely. She only felt him. Someone who stays, she whispered, repeating his words like she was testing how they felt in her mouth. Lysander nodded, his eyes never leaving hers. Yes. No one stays, Mia murmured. Not for long. He stepped closer slowly, carefully, until there was barely a breath between them. His voice softened into something that felt like a vow. I'm here. Her breath trembled. Why? Because I couldn't watch you walk away from that room, he murmured. Not shaking, not hurting, not alone. Mia's throat tightened. You barely know me. I know enough, Lysander whispered. Enough to see your strength, enough to see your worth, enough to want to protect it. Her chest lifted with a quiet, trembling inhale. You're too kind. He tilted his head slightly. And you're too used to being disappointed. She looked down, but he reached out, gentle, slow, tilting her chin up with 2 fingers. Don't hide, he said. Not from me. Something in her broke open at that. A softness, a vulnerability she'd kept locked so tightly that the slightest permission made her ache. Lysander, she breathed. His gaze dropped to her lips for a brief, breath-stealing second. Not possessive, not aggressive, just aware, wanting. But he didn't rush, didn't close the distance. He let the moment build slow, warm, careful. Mia, he said gently, tell me what you need from me right now. Her lips parted. Just don't leave. His jaw clenched softly, like the words hit deep. I won't. He moved one hand to her upper arm, barely touching, his fingertips brushing the fabric of her dress, with an intimacy so subtle it made her heartbeat stumble. You're shaking, he whispered. I know, she said, voice trembling. I'm trying not to. Don't try, he murmured. Let yourself feel it. Her breath stuttered as he added, I'm not going anywhere. She exhaled shakily, leaning just slightly into his touch. His hand steadied her, warm and grounding, keeping her from spiraling back into the pain she'd been drowning in. Lysander lowered his forehead near hers, close enough she felt his breath skim her lips, though he didn't touch her. "You don't need to be strong right now," he whispered. "Not with me." Her heart thudded so loudly she was sure he could hear it. "Why are you doing this?" she asked again, voice barely audible. His answer came soft, honest, unfiltered. "Because someone should have held you the moment you broke," he said, "and since he didn't, I will." A soft, involuntary sound escaped her, something between relief and grief, something raw. Lysander closed his eyes for a brief moment, like steadying himself, then opened them again, full of warmth she didn't expect. "I'm here," he repeated, "as long as you want me." She lifted a trembling hand, placing her fingers lightly against his chest, testing his words, testing the reality of him. He covered her hand with his, slowly, gently pressing her palm to the warmth beneath his suit. "You feel that?" he murmured. Her voice caught. "Your heartbeat. It's not going anywhere." A tear slipped down her cheek, this time not from pain, but from the shock of being held, truly held, for the first time in so long. Lysander brushed it away with his thumb, leaning close enough that her breath tangled with his. "Mia," he whispered, "you're not alone tonight." And standing there, surrounded by silence and velvet coats, and a man who refused to let her break alone, she believed him.